Hey YouTube, how are you? Thanks for coming back to my channel. I want to talk to you about 3 different fears that had me immobilized for many years in my life. What I did to conquer all of them and what you can do too. Stay right there. Okay, so the first fear was the fear of being alone. Ever since I was 16 years old, I always had a boyfriend, a significant other, got older, had a husband or a couple husbands. So I always felt that I was incomplete being by myself. But what I found later is that using the energy when I was out of a relationship to find a relationship, it took a lot away from my life. And by that I mean I could have taken that same energy to finish college. I could have taken that same energy to take my children on vacations when they were younger, invest more into them, more time into them, investing more time into myself to grow, to get to know myself, to heal from past wounds so that I wouldn't possibly make the same mistakes over and over. That need to be with someone that, oh my goodness, I'm going to die if I'm not in a relationship. I'm not normal if I'm not in a relationship. I'm going to be old if I'm not in a relationship. That desire, that driving force, I feel now, really kept me back from a lot in my life, from enjoying life, really taking a good look at life and making better decisions. Constantly being in relationship after relationship isn't good for your children. You know, they see this person, that person, they don't know what to believe, how many uncles they have. I noticed it had a negative effect on my personality. When I was not in a relationship, I wasn't as happy. I remember my son, I had company over, a visitor over, and he was a friend really. But my son, I was in one room and I overheard him ask my son to repeat himself. And what my son said, he was around 10 years old at the time, he says that he wishes his mommy were happy like she is when you're over. How sad is that? My kid was expressing to my friend that he was hoping that I would be happy like I was in that moment when my friend was over, when he was not over. That was the beginning of the wake-up call. The love I have for my children, I could not even exude the possibility that my love for them and my happiness with them is contingent upon my relationship status. My energy was so misfocused. It was focused on finding that next person because I was not content where I was. The next fear I struggled with was the fear of success. Yeah, the fear of success. I would actually go out for different positions, different opportunities, but I would keep it always in the safe zone. Like I would always go after something I was really confident that I would get. Even though others saw potential in me and I never did, or if I did, I quickly shut it down in my own mind. Sounds crazy, but it's true. And I would prevent my own self from going after the opportunity because I felt that, okay, what if I do succeed? Then that means I'll have to live up to this. Can I live up to that? My mind would be going like 100 miles per hour. I couldn't fathom me as being the type or being even capable of handling success. But then in a weird kind of way, I always felt like I deserved success in certain areas, but again, just afraid to really venture and to challenge myself and to face that particular fear. So I always kept it safe. For instance, talent shows, little things like that. Oh, I was always there. Oh yeah, little karaoke things and talent shows, I was there. But when it came to stuff like the Apollo, I mean, I got that a whole lot. I was, looking back, more than capable. I even went to a teacher at one point who was one of the top jazz vocal teachers at the time, even though I wasn't studying jazz, but I just went to him because I wanted to hear his mind on what he thought I was capable of or what my potential was, just to, I guess, stroke my own ego, I don't know. But I went to him and he heard me and he said, if I were in the position, I would sign you right now. But then he gave me a couple buts. So I took that as sort of a twofold thing, like, yeah, yeah, I got it. But then, yeah, I don't got it. And yeah, I would find ways to actually sabotage myself and keep myself at a certain level because I was afraid of that success thing. And even something as simple as a better job. I had an opportunity to be, well, back in the early 2000s, I was presented with the opportunity to manage a particular company. Or a particular sector within a particular company, I'll put it that way. And I feared out. I was very capable, obviously, because they called me and I hadn't applied. But yeah, I just couldn't see myself, even though subconsciously I wanted better for my family at the time. I kind of fell back on my husband because he already had a career in place, and I felt like, well, I don't have to strive as hard because we've got him. Just that fear of success kind of shut me down on that, and I just didn't know why at that time. Guys, the last fear that I want to mention today, I think is the biggest fear that I had, was the fear of being myself. That kind of goes across the board in so many different places, in relationships, at work, in my family, just feeling the need to assimilate to what everyone else is thinking, what everyone else is wearing, what everyone else is like, based on what I studied. I studied and I saw, in my opinion, what the perfect woman was for the perfect man. For instance, oh, she's got a great guy and they've got a great relationship. She's this way, that way, and this way, and that way. So I need to become these 4 qualities. Or every time I did that, I found I lost myself that much more. Every single time, I became less and less authentic. And you know, really, that's a turn off, because people are really looking for you to be you. I found it really to be, it affected me negatively when it came to my family. As a young mom, I started having kids at a very young age. I felt like I grew up with my kids, right? I didn't want to be my kids' first experience with a bully. I didn't want my children afraid of me or inhibited from coming to me, telling me things, talking to me, and just curling up with me and loving on me, you know? I didn't want that for them. So I met with some opposition from a couple family members who at one point just outright told me, you know, it's like you're trying to be your kid's friend. And so I instantly kind of questioned, like, okay, why am I parenting like this? Or why am I so lenient? Or why am I so soft with my children? And instantly I turned it all around and I started mimicking the parents or parents that I felt I should be. This is how you should be as a parent, girl. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to talk to them like that. You're supposed to put them in the back bedroom when you have company. You're supposed to this and that and this and that, rather than just being the parent that I was. Because here's the thing, no parent comes, or no child rather, excuse me, is born with an instruction manual in their hand to give to mommy and daddy. None. We all learn as we go. It's trial and error. And I had this great relationship with my children, and I just felt the need to become like everyone else because that's what everyone else did, you know? And it wasn't until a little later down, thankfully before they were too much older, that I finally pulled away from that, and I thought, no. I can't talk to my children in this harsh manner. I can't do this way, and I can't do that. And that all started because I wasn't confident or comfortable with my own decision making, my own parenting. I never felt like my own approach was valuable, but that the other person's approach was always more valuable. Then I started thinking about opportunities at work, like, oh, I applied for different opportunities at my job, you know. And so usually when I don't get a job that I'm going for, I don't lose sleep over it. It's like, okay, I learned from it. Let me look at my interview notes, or, you know, how can I do better the next time? Well, it only recently occurred to me, and see, all these things come from prayer and meditation. When you start asking, boy, do you receive. But anyway, so only recently is when it started to occur to me, maybe the opportunities are not presenting themselves to you because your employer or the people in charge are perceiving the lack of your being true to your own self, the lack of you trusting your own decision making, being strong and firm and confident in who you are created to be. See, people can tell when you're not really filling your own shoes. And so that was really significant. That was super significant. And it helped me a lot along the way.
So I finally figured out what the common denominator was, the root of all of my fears, and that is that I did not feel I was good enough. I didn't feel that I would measure up to expectation. So when I started to really look into God's word and read and meditate upon the truths of who I really am, that I am good enough. In fact, I'm more than good enough. Then I started to feel better, and I started to conquer these negative feelings I had carried so many years. Freedom is a beautiful thing. And because He loves us like a great Father does, He wishes us nothing but the best. And so I thank you so much for watching. Please get in God's word and bless yourself.